Hi folks, I thought I'd give one of those inexpensive 2-channel differential throttle foam flying wing thingies a go. They're really simple. There's just 2 controls, throttle for up and down and differential throttle for left and right. There are no moving surfaces. You can land one for about $30 Australian and they arrive in about 2 weeks from AliExpress. I thought I'd buy one for the electronics and the motors, then install them into one of my own designs. Well, that's the plan anyway. I started by ordering the 2.5 GHz glider TY8 hand-throwing foam electric professional aeroplane fixed wing remote control outdoor RC plane toys for boys model, which was only $26 Australian including shipping. It comes with the LiPo in a little plastic case and just plugs into the body of the plane. And the only additional equipment you need are 3 AAA batteries for the transmitter. And here it is. It's got blue LED lights that you can switch on and off with the transmitter. If you are flying along and you lose radio contact, the engine's just cut and the plane comes down. This guy weighed in at 42 grams, including the 1 gram of nose weight that I added. Oh, and it's got gyro built in as well because this shape is inherently unstable. So if you're flying along, you can hear the motors adjusting to compensate. The undercarriage are permanently fixed and really sturdy on this model with a nice big spring on them. And they're really good for takeoffs and landings on a smooth surface. I took this little one to the Caulfield flying site to see how it flew outdoors. Let's see how I got on. The gyro is doing its best, but I think I need to change the CFG. I've added about 1 gram of blue tack to the nose. CG sorted, but there seems to be a range problem. When I carried out a range test on the ground, it lost radio contact after about 15 meters. I thought it was defective, so I ordered a different model, the B2 Bomber. In the meantime, later testing it at home, the range seemed to be okay, so I think there is a radio interference problem out at Caulfield. So caution here with this plane, always do a range test on a new site before you fly it. One thing I did notice with this model, when I crashed it, one of the propellers had a propensity to fall off, and as you imagine, little tiny propellers like this are quite hard to find. They do come with 2 spare propellers, but fortunately I didn't need to use those as I was able to find them when they popped off. I then tested it out in the park. Let's see how I got on with that. No problems with range in the park. Before I fly it in the indoor stadium, let's see what this little flying wing can do. I just about managed to loop there. Let's try that again. Whoa, in case you missed that little maneuver. I would not be able to do that without a gyro. I didn't have any issues in the park with range, and I was able to put it through its paces in the wide open spaces. Finally, I took it to Mullum and Donvale to fly it with the indoor aviation team. Let's see how that went. Being a stealth bomber, it's actually quite hard to see, but the blue LEDs help you identify your plane. It flew indoors okay, and I had a pretty decent flying time from it. Incidentally, when the battery gets low, the blue flashing LEDs change to red flashing, so you've got a bit of warning that it's time to land. In the meantime, The B2 Spirit stealth bomber that I ordered arrived. It was a little dearer at about $35 Australian including shipping. The only additional equipment needed here were 2 AA batteries for the transmitter. This transmitter has a little aerial on it, and I think I prefer having the 2 AA batteries to 3 AAA batteries. This one doesn't have any lights. It comes with a standard 150 mAh battery with a standard MX 2.0mm plug, so you could actually put any 1S battery in there with that plug. It's got a switch like the TY8, so you just switch it on, switch on the transmitter, and when you rev up the throttle it pairs. This one has a slightly higher pitched whine to it. This is just the steering. And yeah, this one is also a little bit lighter as well. The B2 only weighed 28 grams. I think it's because it doesn't have the lights. The undercarriage need to be plugged in because they don't fit in the carry box otherwise. In one of my flights I did actually lose the front nose wheel, which doesn't plug in very securely, so a bit of a warning there. If you buy this model, make sure that the front undercarriage is securely, firmly pushed in. Oh, this one also has cutout if you lose contact with the transmitter. So if I turn the transmitter off, after a second the motor's cut and the model comes down. I took the B2 bomber to the park to do some range testing. Before I flew it, I added about 1 gram of blue tack to the nose. I think this is essential because otherwise they just don't fly. Here's how I got on. Okay, let's try it. This little thing, see if it flies. It does fly. Great landing, but these little things are practically indestructible. By this stage I'd lost the nose wheel, but I was never able to find it. The B2 bomber flew about the same as the TY8, except it had a higher pitch whine to the propellers. I also noticed at 0 throttle, when you're steering it, there's enough thrust to actually climb, so that could be an issue indoors. So if you're trying to steer it around, it steadily climbs. You have to be flying straight for it to descend. Another issue I had was with the nose wheel, which I've now lost, which flew off during a takeoff. And I watched the video back to see where it landed and spent quite a bit of time trying to find it in the grass. When I got back and watched it on the big screen, I noticed that soon after takeoff the front nose wheel had disappeared, so it probably happened during the takeoff, and I was never able to find that again. I did fly the B2 bomber indoors at Waverley later on, and it went okay. I just had to be careful not to fly it too high and not hit the ceiling. Although I bought these foam flying wings for the electronics, I actually found flying them challenging and fun. I do plan to get the electronics from one of them. Which one? Probably this one. And install it in a foam plane that I'm building, but that's a subject for another video. Stay tuned for more progress on DavesFunRC. Bye for now.